Good morning, Mountains. We are live here on the Startup Morning Show with the Startup Morning crew. JJ Pruitt on my right, and down below us, we got Bradley Dameron from the mean streets of Marbone Creek, West Virginia. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, man.
Good
How
morning
you
to
guys?
you as well.
It sounds like it's a morning for you, Bradley.
Yeah. It's been a morning. I slept through my initial alarm and then woke up and looked like, oh, I have the morning show in 15 minutes.
I slept in too today, but I've been having some technical issues. So, we was just a couple minutes late getting on here today. So we do apologize to our viewers. But this segment is brought to you by our friends at Punk's Tires for all your tire care needs. Make sure you go to Punk's Tires, see Jeremy Pinson and the crew. They will get you took care of. Fast, convenient service. Make sure you go there. And now, got word yesterday, we had a customer message us. They said, have you guys been to Punk's lately? We was like, nah, it's been about a month. And they said that Punk's have put a TV up in the waiting room, and every morning they're playing the Startup Morning Show.
Really?
Yeah, for their customers. So big shout out to our crew at Punk's Tires.
That is so cool.
So, guys, as we're getting started, today is August the 15th. JJ, this day in history, tell us what has happened.
Well, we're going to start off with the year 1947. And in 1947, after 3 decades, the Indian independence movement led by Mahatma Gandhi achieved its goal on this day in 1947 as a free and independent India was established, ending nearly 200 years of British rule, which is a significant time in history. We're going to go with in 1979, after a troubled production, Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now was released in theaters, and it became a film classic, noted for performances by Marlon Brando and Robert Duvall, whose character famously says that he loves the smell of napalm in the morning. Which Apocalypse Now is widely considered, one of the best films ever. It's a classic war film, if any of you guys are familiar with it. And then we got the last
Now,
but not...
is that where we got Folgers in your cup? Love Folgers in your cup instead of napalm?
I'm not 100% sure. But also we've got in 1998, a car bomb exploded in Armagh, Northern Ireland, killing 29 people and leaving more than 200 injured. The Real Irish Republican Army, an IRA splinter group, claimed responsibility for the bombing, which was the deadliest attack in Northern Ireland since the eruption of violence there in the late 1960s.
I remember that quite vividly. I remember when all that was going on, and I'm glad they got things figured out in Ireland, because it got real nasty there for a while, Bradley.
Yeah, it did. I know they still had some issues and all that. I actually have some family living in Ireland still.
Oh, okay.
And so they've been all through all that and all those issues. And I'm a bit familiar with that.
I got a couple things happen this day in history. The biggest music festival of all time, Woodstock, 1969. 400,000 people gathered in upstate New York for peace, love, and music. And still today, it is widely known as the biggest music festival in the history of the world.
I would have loved to have seen Jimi Hendrix play the national anthem there.
Well, that would have definitely been neat. I remember back when I was a teenager, MTV went and covered. They had another Woodstock, and things didn't go quite as well as they hoped it would. A lot of tragedy in that one. I suggest everybody watch that Netflix documentary about the Woodstock in the 90s. But, I've seen videos, and, I remember as a kid, I'd always look in magazines and videos and stuff. Nowadays they won't show stuff like that. But as a kid, as a young adolescent kid, I used to love looking at pictures from Woodstock.
Oh yeah, and I always say to this day, I would have loved. Even though Woodstock 1999 is infamous today, I would have loved to have seen Korn and Limp Bizkit perform live.
Oh yeah. I watched it live on TV, and I was enamored with it, and I watched every single thing that they had, every performance, and then it ended up just going down in flames, but literally. But guys, go ahead, Bradley.
I did see Limp Bizkit perform live.
Okay. There you go.
2000, they had robots and flames shooting out and stuff, man. No, I went to a few music festivals in my younger days. I think I would die at one now. But
you didn't go to that fire festival, did you?
No, man. Look, at this point in my life, you couldn't drag me to a music festival. Love a lot of music, but you're not going to get me there. So,
I would love to go to what's the one that they have like in Jamaica or Coachella? The Coachella Music Festival.
I don't know.
I think that's it. That's where they had the Tupac hologram. Yeah. So as we're looking, also, guys, this day in history as 1914. I don't know if you guys recognize this, but that is the Panama Canal. That's the Panama Canal. That is not Charleston, JJ. That is the Panama Canal, and it opened up in 1914, and really it really helped businesses with shipping, and it was a game changer in the business world. And the Panama Canal, it's in between North America and South America, so it's a big deal. Opened up in 1914. So that's this day in history. Now, JJ, whose birthdays are today? That's what everybody wants to know. Who famous has a birthday today?
So we got 4 individuals. We've got Jennifer Lawrence, which is a very famous actress. We've got Anthony Anderson. We've got 2 rappers. We got an individual by the name of Nipsey Hussle, which he passed away, but he was well known. And then we got Chief Keef, if you're familiar with him.
Chief Keef. I've heard the name, but not familiar with his work.
Yeah, he was pretty big in the 2010s. Like I don't know if you like his music, but yeah, a lot of people grew up listening to him in this newer generation.
All right, guys, it looks like on my Facebook, we got a very special birthday today, my brother's birthday, and one of our most loyal viewers, Matthew Maynard.
Maynard's birthday,
Bo. Yeah, so, happy birthday to Jason Lance, Kelly Sloan, Creta Atkins, Clyde Woods, Brandy Wells Kidd, Adam Witt, let's see, Isabella Cherico, Jackson Watts, and Zane Hatfield. So, guys, this is one of the biggest birthdays we've had so far on Facebook, and a lot of mountain athletes in there, a lot of big D&D supporters, and a lot of local people. So, definitely big shout out to all them folks, especially Matthew Maynard. So I may have to go buy him dinner today.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Yeah. So guys, as we get started here on the show, that's going to bring us to our first commercial break. So we got to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about a Russian spy. No, and we're not kidding. This is not the Americans TV show, and this is not back in the 80s. It's happening today. We're going to tell you about a story coming out of Russia. You definitely want to come back. And then we got a lot to talk about today, and we're going to have some great guests on. It's going to be a great show, so we expect everybody to stay here with us, and we'll be right back here on the Startup Morning Show. Award-winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family-owned and family-operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires Appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call.
Wear a lot of hats. There are coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
And we're back here on the Startup Morning Show here in Warfield, Kentucky. JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and we just got a special guest walked in the studio. Surprise, surprise, guys. And I'll introduce you here in just a second. But guys, we was talking about the Russian spy. JJ, did you happen to see this story?
I saw a couple of Russian stories, but can you tell which one? Oh, wow.
Russian court gives 12-year treason sentence to a Russian American for a $50 charity donation. Now, this young lady here ended up, she's from California. She's an amateur ballerina, and she donated to she was walking down the street of New York, and they was taking up money, kind of how here in around here people's supporting Gaza. Well, people was supporting Ukraine, and she gave a $50 donation. Well, her husband bought her a ticket to go see her grandparents in Russia. She lives here in America, and Carolina is her last name, and she ended up going to Russia. And when she got there, she got arrested, and she's facing a life sentence. Putin ended up taking and passing a law last year and raising it from 16 years in prison to a lifetime ban if you're caught for treason. So definitely tough situation there for that young lady. And they're saying that the $50 went to supply arms and military equipment for Ukraine to fight against Russia. So, tough situation there over a donation. Does it make you think twice of donating?
It makes me think twice about going there.
I mean, I have an idea. I'm just going to stay out of Russia. But think about this for a minute. Wouldn't that be a good cover for a spy to occasionally give like a little something to the opposition? I'm just saying. I mean, $50 isn't going to do much, and you might be able to get more information. I don't know. That's what I would say.
It would probably bust your cover. But have you guys watched the TV show The Americans?
I think I might have seen one episode of it, but I don't think I really picked it up.
It's one of the best TV shows you can ever watch. I highly recommend it to both of you guys. It's about Russian spies living here in America and trying to fit into everyday life. It's pretty neat. But guys, when you talk about that, that's multiple situations you can That's multiple situations where Russia. This just comes a month after, and look who we got. We got Coach Justin McCoy in the house.
Oh man!
Good morning, Justin.
Good morning.
Yeah. But to cap off the story there, this comes just a month after the prisoner swap, which was the largest prisoner swap in history, involved 7 countries with Russia, and which broke the news a month ago. And it sounds like to me that Russia's just trying to get a little more prisoners arrested. That way that they can use it for bargaining chips, maybe to get people, like arms dealers and stuff like that out. That's what you got to be careful with Russia. Are they just, arresting Americans that go over there and accusing them of stuff that way that they can get what they want in prisoner swaps and stuff like that.
Yeah, the amount of time that they're sentencing these people to prison is insane. 12 years for a $51 donation. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and we just seen Matt Maynard tune in. So happy birthday, Bob. The big shout out to Matthew Maynard for his birthday today. The guys, outbreak of monkeypox. They call it Mpox in the Dominican Republic, and they're saying it could be headed to America. Guys, hopefully we're just now getting over COVID. Hopefully that this disease does not make it here, because right now I don't think we can afford another disease here on our homeland. What do you guys think about that? Will we see monkeypox in America?
I agree with you 100%, Darryl. We can't afford to have something like that happen, but it's perfect timing. The election's about to come up, so there's always something crazy that ends up happening, and if it's anything like COVID, it's going to be brutal.
Well, it's
we have had monkeypox in America in the past.
Monkeypox?
Yeah, monkeypox has been around for a while. It's normally not prevalent here, but there have been cases here.
Well, it's previously Mpox, known as monkeypox. It's the hallmark of the infection. The hallmark of the infection is a flat rash with flat sores. They turn into liquid-filled blisters, which may be itchy or painful. So it can also cause flu-like symptoms, including fever, head and body aches, swollen lymph nodes, chills, and general exhaustion. Most cases in the outbreak that began in 2022 have been non-life-threatening, although the disease can be fatal to people with weak immune systems. Mpox is contagious through close contact, and in the U.S. and Europe, found a foothold amongst men who have sex with other men, spreading mostly in gay and bisexual communities. So tough situation. The don't sound like, well, I'm hoping from the description that I can avoid that. But
yeah, absolutely.
But very tough situation. The as you guys we got Coach McCoy in, so we definitely want to talk to Coach McCoy here a minute. Coach, you coming over from Phelps this morning, joining us in studio. Surprise, surprise. But we was going to get with you the other day because I seen a picture come out of the Phelps football team. And they was like 8 guys in there. What's going on over at Phelps? You only got 8 football players?
No, that's what I was going to tell you about, and that's who I've been talking to, one of their coaches, right now about it. No, they just didn't have a lot, didn't show up for the picture. I think in the picture there was like 12, I think, or maybe something like that, 16. But I just got word from one of the coaches, they got 30 kids.
30 kids out?
Got 30 kids out.
Wow. Is the Randy guy still the coach?
Yes, Randy Smith's still the head coach. He's got my real good buddy Dominique Francis that I used to coach. We won that county championship with.
Yep.
He's a big part of what they're doing. He's the one that I've been talking to about them and stuff. And but no, he said they got 30 out, at least 30 out right now. And they got some kids out. Gavin Hamilton's out now that plays basketball.
Yep.
They got some of those boys out. They got Reese Norman came out to play.
They need to get Tyler Reddington out there.
Well, now this I'm not sure, but now I heard this is through the grapevine. I don't know. I've not talked to nobody yet, but I hear that he's supposed to go out today.
Oh wow!
I hear he's supposed to go out now. Am I? Don't take me for this 100%, but I hear he's supposed to go out today.
Knowing Tyler, offensive line, defensive line, what's he playing?
Man, I tell you, Tyler would be a good tight end on offense. Get him a ball. He's tall. He can jump. He's big and strong. He can block. That's what I played was tight end. And,
listen, with his size
and defensive end, I put him on defensive end and rush the quarterback.
He would play defensive end for me, and there is no doubt that young man, if he wants to make some money, he is the prototypical left tackle.
He could be a left tackle. Absolutely, he'd be a great left tackle, like I said. But at Phelps, I would put him at tight end where he can get the ball. You know what I mean? You get him a little touch here and there. But I now hear that. But now I got word, some of the standouts right now on the football team so far through summer and stuff is I hear Ethan Fields is looking really good.
Yeah.
Ethan and Dylan, the brothers. Yeah. I hear they're looking good. Jacob Francis is one. He's kin to Dominic, so he's got that bloodline. He's going to be good, and he's looking good right now so far is what I hear from the coaches. Jacob Francis is looking really good. And, like I said, Gavin Hamilton's looking good. I'm glad to see him out. First time he's played in a long time. Reese Norman, I'm glad to see Reese out. So they've got some Logan Wolford's another one they got out. People you don't know him real good now. He played basketball for me in middle school. He's really fast. He's strong. Now, look for him to come out of the backfield and make some noise. The key for Phelps right now is, can you block? I don't know what their line looks like. If they've got the skills, they got the skill players. And I'm telling you, I just talked to Landon Dotson's helping. Remember Big Landon?
Yeah.
Well, I met him in Hornets yesterday, and he said that he's coaching, and he told me that the skill position, they're loaded. He said, but, they're working on the line. If they get the line down, he told me with their schedule, they could win 7-8 ball games.
Oh, wow.
That's what he said.
Yeah. We'll have to bring up their schedule here in a minute, and we'll look at it, see what we
go through.
Yeah, we'll see what we think here. But and if the line's a question mark, then there's no doubt where I would have Tyler. I would put him right there because that kid is a hoss cat.
Oh, absolutely.
But Coach Smith's going to kill me. But I hate to move for Tyler. He's such a good basketball player.
Now, I may be wrong on that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I said, I may not be right. I just heard it.
Yeah.
I've not messaged his mom or dad yet to even find out, but I'm not for sure. That's just I'd heard it and I was kind of shocked, But I mean, honestly, I played football and basketball and stuff. I love football. And
you've got to have your
but I know what you're saying. It's just scared that he may get hurt or something. But in these communities, man, like our school,
but he's the state's leading rebounder.
Yes, you've got to have everybody playing a lot of sports, because at a small school, if all the good athletes don't play, it hurts you. You know what I'm saying?
It does hugely in places like Phelps.
And also, I forgot Gabe Workman is supposed to be playing.
Gabe Workman.
The one.
Yeah, I know Gabe, yeah.
I hear he's supposed to be playing football this year.
Well, he's an athlete that could definitely help in the skill position spots. Really quick, elusive. I hope, if Tyler plays, I definitely be rooting him on. But, it's a tough situation for kids like Tyler when he's a state's leading rebounder. He's a 2020 guy. And be honest, God forbid something happen, there goes your basketball season too, and
he's legit, man. And I'm telling you, he's a great kid.
Well, let me ask you this. Can we get the Canadians out?
Man, I don't know. I've not heard. Now that part, I don't know. I don't know if they play anything but basketball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure.
Well, they're in America. It's time for them to learn our pastime, right?
Yeah.
They'll be trying to play those Canadian rules, Darryl.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they'll be getting a head start on the passing plays and all that.
They'll have a good advantage on us. So I'm looking at the schedule here. Twin Valley, that's a winnable game.
Yes.
Jackson County, winnable game. Bland, winnable game. Not Central, they're getting better. I would take not in that right now.
That may be,
yeah. And then,
but we're taking right now. I think they start out 3-0.
Oh yeah, they started. I look right now. They could start out 3-0, and then week 4 will be the tough one for them.
Right. Well, we say we give them that loss there. It's 3-1,
and then you got there's 2 bye weeks. One of them is or both of them says to be announced. So,
right, so
we'll see, who they feel there. But when they return on October 18th, they play Fairview, winnable game.
Yeah, I think they win that.
Morgan County. Now, Morgan County.
I don't know much about Morgan County.
They got a lot better last year. You know, so I don't know. I don't know more. I know last year they surprised everybody and had a solid season compared to what they normally are. Normally they're not very good, traditionally.
Yeah.
But last year they had a surprising season. Now, so I'm gonna give Morgan the win there.
Okay.
So we'll go Morgan, Knott County win, and then they close out with a winnable game, Jenkins.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. So you're looking at already, we picked them to win what, 5?
4 or 5 games.
5, and then to be determined, we don't know, you know.
And the 2 games that we're picking them to lose, they could win.
That's what I'm saying. And well, just to start out 3-0, if they do that, and I think they can and will. How long has it been since Phelps has started out 3-0 in football? You know what I mean? It's been years. And, you know, we've not had a lot of wins since David Jones was there. You know what I'm saying? Which me and David was coaching together. We went, you know, I think we won 6 games or something the first year. But this is, you know, it'll be a big step up. And then, Darryl, I think after having a good, successful season this year, we can get back in district play. We're not in district play right now.
They, JJ must have disappeared on us there.
He's back, I believe.
Somebody called the hotline number.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think I hit the ignore button because I didn't, you know, I think it might have been a scammer call.
Well, I'll tell you what, JJ, call it back, see if they got a question.
Okay, I'll call and see if it's a legit number.
Yeah, let's see what they got.
Yeah. But we've never had a hotline call yet, so this could be our first one.
Yeah. I'll call it right now and let you know what they say.
Okay, so guys, as we're looking, by the way, if you'd like to call the hotline number, give us a call on the Double Quick hotline here at 606-230-8911. That's 606-230-8911 on the Double Quick hotline. Get it on the double at Double Quick. So, you know, and I'm sitting there, you know, Coach Smith, you know, I really got a lot of respect for him because he's always stepped in when the program ain't where it needs to be. He's kind of that bridge filler.
Yep, he is, you know, and that's what I say. People don't realize, you know, what it takes, like for Randy to step in with a, you know, it was a dying program when he came in.
Yeah.
I mean, he went and got kids out. You know, most kids had never played, but he went through the school, made sure we had a team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kept it going. And that's something, you know, to respect. And, you know, and now, you know, he's starting to build it back up. And now you've got these athletes wanting to go play football. He's making it fun. I mean, he's just doing everything right. And he's surrounded himself with a great staff is my most thing I like about what Randy's done. You know, you bring in Dominique Francis, kids like Dom. He was a great football player. Yeah. He was a star athlete. He will get kids to play for him. You know what I mean? They will come out for him. Now you got Landon. You're bringing big Landon Dotson on board to help coach. Another kid that was a great athlete. Kids like him at Phelps. You know what I'm saying? That's going to bring more people out, you know, and that's what in football, it ain't like basketball and stuff. You know, you take 6-7 players, you can play basketball. Football, you got to have 25 to 30 kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, because football is a lot different, you know, and you've got to have a lot of kids in that Phelps. And Warren Roman ain't, you know, I think we're at 235 or something. That's, you know, it's hard.
Well, and I like the fact that Dominique Francis is working with them because that gives somebody that these kids grew up and these kids respect.
Yes.
So,
and I tell you, I've coached a lot of kids, you know, throughout Phelps. You know, I've been with them forever. Dominique is still that one kid, probably the best kid I've ever coached. The most talented, the most humble, the most best leader. Even when we had little kids, you know, a lot of kids that's really good, they'll pick on these little kids. You know what I'm saying? They think they're better. Dom was always that one, man. If somebody was having a hard day down here, one of our little kids, and one of the older boys his age was picking, he would, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Hey, this kid's got to learn like we, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just that leader, man. And just like the year we won the county championship, you know, without Dom that year, we don't do that, you know. I mean, and he just made everybody get on board, and he didn't care if he scored the most or if he didn't. You know, he was all about winning and all about making everybody better.
Let's see here. Was it a spam call?
No, we got our first call.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Did they ask a question or?
They got 2 questions.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll read some comments and we'll find out them questions. Come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show.
Wear a lot of hats. There are coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Central America, head to Sal's Steakhouse. Sizzle your senses with mouthwatering steaks, juicy burgers, savory chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Sal's Steakhouse, where your taste buds will thank you. Unleash the flavor at Sal's. Taste tradition, taste the difference.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show as we got Justin McCoy to my left, special guest host today. We got Bradley Dameron and JJ Pruitt. Guys, we got a bunch of comments coming in. Let's throw them up here. Matt Maynard says too many kids stick to one sport these days.
I agree, Matt.
Yeah, especially that is vital to communities like Phelps.
Yes.
And Bradley's over here on the West Virginia side, so he understands it too. You've got to have your best athletes playing multiple sports, right, Bradley?
You do. I mean, you can't get by. Well, I'll tell you this, most people know I'm from the Kermit area. I went to
the main streets of Marbone Creek.
Main streets of Marbone Creek, and I went to Tug Valley, and I can remember Tug Valley in AA football for a bit, playing with like teams, kids in their team numbers, right? Like 15 kids. I think Doug Ward one year had a AA team there that had, I think, 14, 15 kids on the entire roster.
So, I can remember Tug Valley when I was growing up. Tug Valley football was like non-existent. Like you didn't even they was an afterthought. Like it was horrible. And what Haiti Ford has done for Tug Valley, that man deserves to go down to the Hall of Fame whenever he retires, just for the way that he's got Tug Valley to the respectability that it is today.
Well, it started with Tony Kluski.
Kluski was the one that started it. Yeah.
Kluski got it going. There were a few years back in the 90s under Barry Scragg where they were all right, but for the most part was really bad, and then Tony got it going there. And then Haiti Ford has picked up and they've done pretty well with that. But like I said, though, they were playing against like the Waynes of the world when Wayne was winning state titles with 15 kids and stuff.
And Whitey Littles asked Justin McCoy, he said, what is Phelps working with at QB?
Well, right now they're working, I'm pretty sure it's either going to be Reese Norman. I think they're working with Reese Norman and Dylan Fields.
Dylan Fields, he'll be a good one. Is the other Fields boy playing?
Yeah, Ethan's the one. Yeah, he looks really good. Ethan will be more like a scat back, like he'll be a slot, a receiver, and a running back. You know what I mean?
That was huge for them getting them two boys back from Belfry.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I tell you, if it wasn't for his injury last year, the kid that they'd need to be playing is Knox Wallace. But I'd be scared to put him in a helmet
Knox
now.
Will never do that. Yeah. No, but since that injury, absolutely, Knox would have been a great fullback. But I don't ever see Knox doing that.
No, if I was daddy, I wouldn't let him.
Yeah, I doubt his daddy let him.
But JJ, so we had a double quick hotline call. Did they say who it was and what's the questions?
Okay, so first of all, I want to give a shout out to Michelle from Coal Run. She didn't give me her last name, but she did have 2 questions. And the first question, both of them are basketball questions. The first one is she wants to know who you believe the top 5 players are by class in the 15th region in boys basketball.
that's putting on the spot.
Do what now? She wants to know.
Top 5 boys by class. So, your 5 best freshmen. And I'll try to get as close to an order as I can, which I don't want to go too far into an order because a lot of them's probably going to be close. But I'd probably go with freshman Braxton Keithley,
absolutely, he's
Austin
number
Sloan
one.
second.
Yeah,
them are the two big dogs.
Yeah, those are the two.
And then you got that class is stacked. You got and then you got Zadrash, Brody Little, I
had Knox Wallace coming up to a freshman class.
Yeah, Knox is in that class, but trying to think.
I don't really.
I followed that class forever. Grant Hall's in it from Pike Central. Trying to think. Cole Sloan from Pikeville. He would. He would be one in it. And
what about the big tall kid from Johnson Central?
I think he's a
sophomore.
I think he's a sophomore.
Yeah, he'll be a sophomore.
Yeah. He's going to be Kyle Rose, a sophomore.
Yeah.
So, I tell you, Brock Woods.
Yeah.
If I'm not, no, that's not freshman. Your freshman class now is the kids coming up from eighth grade.
Eighth grade.
Yeah. So in 8th grade in the 15th region, be honest, I mean, Wesley Buck is definitely up there from Floyd Central. He may be the top kid. Andrew Collins, Wesley Buck.
There's a few kids from Mullins that came up. It's going to be good.
Yeah, Mullins had it. Oh, yeah, Colton Ratliff. Yeah.
Then what was that Mark from Valley?
Mark Bowling from Valley.
From Valley, and the other
Harrison Field. Yeah,
those three were good.
Them two are at Pikeville now.
Yeah, they transferred.
Yeah, them two transferred to Pikeville, and I know I'm forgetting one really good one, but Tommy McKenzie's son.
Yeah,
Mason McKenzie.
Again, I forgot. Dylan Fields. Dylan Fields is moving up to freshman class.
And guys, I just missed the number 1 player in that class is Bryson Dawes from Martin County. He didn't play middle school last year, so I forgot about him there. But Bryson Dawes is the number 1 player, and then they got Martin County's got a couple studs, Chase Hinkle, and I'm trying to think of the other kids. Name right off Copley, Aiden Copley, I think is his name, and then Copley, and then
we moved to sophomore class.
Jackson Pack is another one too. That kid is the surprise. Jackson Pack. He's a kid that stands about 6'4", 6'5" as an 8th grader.
Wow.
Yeah. But the sophomore class is what we was talking about with Keithley, Sloan,
Weddington.
Yeah, Weddington.
Tyler Weddington.
Yeah, he's definitely so I'd probably go Keithley, Sloan, Weddington, and then I'm gonna stick with the Belfry boys, Brody Little and Zadrash. You know, them two would be probably. I'm trying to make sure that
Walker Russell, he'll be a junior, won't he?
Yeah, Walker's going to be a junior, but Cole Sloan needs to be in that group somewhere there. But, I still think, from what I've seen this summer, moving on, I think that Brody Little and Zadrash will probably be that 4 or 5. And then moving up to sophomore or junior class.
Walker Russell, definitely.
Walker, trying to think who is I know the class. So Chris Spriggs, Carter Parsons, Carter Parsons, Chris Spriggs, in any order you could put them to. Then Walker Russell. I think those are your 3 in that class, and then trying to think who. Let's see. Go through Martin County. They got any juniors? Devin Maynard, 100%. He could be the big dog in that class.
And I tell you, he could be.
And so those are 4, and I'm trying to think who the 5th would be. Let's see. Let's go through districts. Let's see. Does Pike Central got any?
Phelps has got Gavin Hamilton, Reese Norman.
I don't think either one of them will be that.
That's who else?
In 5. Then
Pike Central's got. What about Peyton Owens? Is he?
He's a senior.
Senior?
And then who does Pikeville got as juniors? Oh, Jackson King. Yeah. That's definitely your 5th. So when we go through that class, you had Carter Parsons, Chris Spriggs, Walker Russell, Devin Maynard, and Jackson King. That's your 5.
That's good 5.
Yeah, that's your 5 there. And
seniors, you got to go Jaden Stewart.
Yeah, it'd be Parker Watts, Jaden
Stewart.
The senior class isn't a deep class.
Jackson Estridge, has to be in the top 5, in my opinion.
I think it would be Parker Jackson. I would
Jaden,
Parker Jaden, and then I think 3, 4 there is Peyton Davis and Jackson Estridge, every way you wanted to put it. I'd probably put Peyton 3 right now just because he's got a resume and Estridge doesn't have that.
Experience.
Yeah, he's got that more experience, but could definitely see that flip flopping if Estridge works and but Peyton Davis, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to knock that kid anywhere off that list.
Is he?
Because he's a shooter, and Ian Oxt is he's a senior too. So, if I was going to go Player of the Year, it would be
Parker.
I think Parker, Jaden, Jackson. Now that he's at Belfry, then I think Ian Oxt, and then Cameron Pente would be your other ones. Now, Peyton. He's the reigning Lathan Hall Defensive Player of the Year award winner. So be interesting to see what Parker. I think Parker's going to drop too many points for if Parker wasn't there, then Peyton would have a good chance at Player of the Year.
Oh yeah.
But when you got a kid that's probably going to drop 30 a game, it's going to be tough to oversee him. But listen. This summer, I don't know. I've seen anybody shoot the 3 ball as good as Peyton Davis.
Absolutely, he has, man.
Yeah.
He's and defensively, like I said, there ain't many better.
That would be my 5. So Parker, Jaden, Jackson, Peyton, and then I'm gonna go Pente in front of Oxt.
Yeah.
And then I think you could go either way with them two, but that would probably be mine. And one of the sophomores that we forgot was Hayden Perry from Lawrence County.
Yes.
Yeah, I always forget. They're out there on the outskirt. The 15th region, right on the edge, and I always forget them. And then the Gunnar Woods kid that come in, that kid is tough. But now, what did she have another one, JJ?
Oh yes, she did. This is on the girls' end. She would like you to give your top 10 girls that we need to keep an eye out for in the 15th region this year for girls basketball.
Top 10 to be looking forward to, I would say
Leanne Jackson, Kylie Kenner. Let's see, Leanne Jackson, Kylie Kenner, Sophie Atkins. Yeah, and after that, I think you would go Callie McCoy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the points and the stats she put up last year, it's going to be hard. I don't, like Leanne, she didn't put up the points because she had Kiara and Trinity.
Yes.
But I think everybody knows what
everybody knows what she is.
Yeah. So, I could definitely see that. And then I think Kylie, Sophie, you can flip them ever how you want them. And then I think Callie McCoy, Audrey Prater.
Yeah, and then that's 5. And then Carly Stanley is peeping into that. She's young still, but she's getting into that. She's in that top 10, definitely.
And then I'm going to go Chloe Crace. Jaden Pente.
Yeah, Jaden Pente. Definitely Jaden Pente.
The Sadie Johnson.
Yep.
Probably go the Hess girl from Pike Central. She's up there.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
And I'm telling you, we got Kylie Weddington too. She's right there.
Yeah, I forgot about Kylie.
She's right there too, man. She can do a little bit of everything. And then let's see, who did Johnson Central have besides?
Oh, they Tommy McKenzie's daughter. Yeah,
Yes,
she's definitely in there.
She's
Really Caitlin McKenzie. So
she's tough.
that'll be. I think that would be your
Top
10.
10. Yeah.
Yeah. So and listen, there's a young lady in Lawrence County. Keep an eye on her, Jade Patton.
Oh yeah, I've been watching her game.
Yeah.
Man. She's going to be she's getting better every year.
Her family is all Division I players, and so
you know what she's going to be.
Yeah, her bloodline is really thick. Jimmy Johnson tuning in this morning, a little late to the show, but Jimmy says, "Good morning, fellas. Big commitment coming to Coach Pope and the Cats this Friday morning. Malachi Moreno, 6'11", 230 pounds, top 20 player in the country, will make his commitment to the team tomorrow, or said at 11 a.m. tomorrow. All signs point toward the Cats." Yes, Moreno, I actually spoke to his brother 2 weeks ago. And his brother, I don't want to spoil any news, but his brother, everything his brother told me, I think there's a good chance we'll see Moreno in Lexington. And that's huge, guys, because that's a hometown favorite that he plays at Great Crossing. I think everybody, he's ranked as one of the top 5 big men in the country. Big get for Coach Pope.
Huge.
Yeah. Huge.
And then, guys, it says, happy birthday, Matt Maynard.
Yeah, Janice Rodens. Say all these are our regulars that watch every single morning with us. But guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Startup Morning Show. Don't forget, 9:15, Weston Harris will be joining us. You guys definitely want to come back for that one. Weston, we've tried to have him on a couple times, couldn't get signal. We're going to have him today. Guys, you're watching the Startup Morning Show here on the D&D Sports Network.
Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
In America, what does that mean? It means jobs. It means craftsmanship. And when it comes to Vaughan Bassett furniture, it means value. And Kemper recognizes that. That's why they've dedicated an entire gallery to Vaughan Bassett. Made in America. See the quality. And now, see the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London, or Somerset.
Back here on the Startup Morning Show, got my main man, JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and we got special guest host Justin McCoy on with us today, guys, as we got a lot of comments, questions coming in. This segment is sponsored by our friends at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. Royal health is very important. Guys, if you have an emergency, you don't want to have to drive miles away. You want one in your community. So it's very important what Tanya Chaffins and the crew at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic does for the Lenoir area.
Also, Darryl, let's say happy birthday, Jeremy Penson's mother, Nancy Joy Skaggs.
Yes, absolutely.
Jeremy's a really good friend of mine.
I grew up with Jeremy. He grew up right down the road there from my holler. He grew up there in Toller, Kentucky.
And guys, if you need tires, I'm telling you, Punk's Tires. It's number one.
Yeah.
And it's not close.
The price that you can get them for there is fractions of the price you can get anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Guys, as we're sitting here looking, homeless issues starting to pick up. A lot of people getting upset over the homeless in the Belfry area, or in the Williamson, Belfry-Williamson area. has said that when you go run the flood walls, there's buggies, like the dollar store buggy, people stealing buggies, taking them down there. And then they have a place called Tent City. They're trying to get the sheriff's department to do something about it, but this is on the riverbank over by if you're walking on the South Williamson flood wall, you look across the river, you can see it. This is a very tough situation, guys. People are upset and, wanting people to crack down on the homeless situation. And, at the end of the day, these people's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's not like they have, homeless homeless shelters and stuff like that in our area. So, where do they want these people to go?
I mean, they don't really have many options. I mean, if you kick them out of one place, their first instinct is going to be to go to a different one.
Well, if you remember last year, they did go and kick them out from under the bridges in Williamson there. And whenever they did, there was a rash of fires in Williamson. And so they was going to the abandoned homes in the Williamson area. So, that's what you got to, deal with. Do you let them stay under the bridge? And, and listen, if they're in, I get it. You're wanting to take and, change things into, where we're a tourist community. You got people coming in from the Hatfield McCoy trails and, you don't want them to see that stuff, but I don't know what the answer is.
I don't either.
Do y'all, any suggestions, Bradley?
No, I mean, that's the thing, Darryl. I do think maybe sometimes I wonder if we need to find a way to invest more in some type of infrastructure to help people like that. I don't know, like a little tiny house community or something. I don't know, man. But again, that takes money and that takes a lot of resources. So it's tough, but I agree with you. Yeah, they can tear something down, but the people are still going to live somewhere.
One of the things that one of my biggest regrets is, I was a huge supporter and backer of the recovery shelter in Williamson. Mm-hmm. And I really think that has caused 90% of this problem, because when that recovery shelter come in, it started bringing out-of-towners in here that was getting kicked out of the shelter, and then they had no place to go. So they're roaming our streets. They're breaking into meters. They're vandalizing stuff, and they're going right back to drugs because they don't have anywhere to go. The only place they have to go is under the bridge, where you're going to see other users. So, that right there, I think recovery shelters should be more in, rural areas, like if you're going to do something like that, like a recovery shelter, have it, if you're going to have it, say Mingo County, I think it needs to be somewhere like up toward 22 Mine Road, or, in Birch, Lenore areas, or, where it's not your biggest city in your county, because, a lot of the Hatfield McCoy Trail is based around Williamson. And, and that's why everybody's upset, because you're seeing all these homeless people, in the Williamson area there. And, I think right now, a lot of people I've seen upset in the Lenore area because they're saying that there's an uproar, people not wanting the Hatfield McCoy Trail to come through the Lenore area. Well, I think a lot of it is because they're afraid of stuff like this.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Darryl. I mean, it's a tough situation at the end of the day. I mean, I know if I was homeless, what I would personally do if I was one of these individuals, but even then it still may not work. Maybe try to apply for one of these apartments and see if I can get myself started. But even then, it's like not everybody gets approved for them. So, I mean, there's really not that many options. I mean, you can find some churches maybe that would take you in and maybe let you stay there for a little bit. But even then, they're not going to let you stay long. So it's...
Yeah, only homeless shelter I know is in Pikeville.
Yeah, we need more. That's what I'm saying. Like, whatever you do, you need more infrastructure with that, because that's not going away. It's not like you can just you can snap your fingers or whatever. And getting rid of the tent city, it doesn't solve anything. A new Tennessee will pop right up.
And it's not going to get any better.
No.
Is create a homeless shelter that will do job placements and stuff like that. Because listen, every day people are looking for work, but these people that's homeless don't have a way to get to work, or they don't have a way to settle down. But if you had a homeless shelter really focused on putting workers back, on their feet, that could help the issue. That's probably what I would be my answer to it. But, and I hate it because the people in Lenoir area, they should be really behind this Hatfield McCoy trail, because this could be a huge boost to the economy. I know I've been one of the biggest supporters of it coming to the Kermit area. I really think, that would help that community tenfold if the Hatfield McCoy trail had a trailhead in Kermit. So, I really hope people get behind that. I know a lot of people in the mountains don't like that because, they say that, well, they're charging us to ride the hills we've always rode on. Right. But at the end of the day, we got to find a way to replace coal. And I think the only answer I see coming is tourism.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
That got a lot of comments coming in. Stephen Castador says, slew of them come to rehab, and when they leave, they get out. They don't have a way back to where they're from. I think they should get them a bus ticket back to where they come. Well, we talked about that story where the Williamson Sheriff's Department is actually buying, I think it was the sheriff, might have been a judge there, is buying tickets for people to go back to their communities. And they got a car that will actually take them back to their communities if they want to. So Janice Roden says put in some homeless shelters. Jimmy Johnson says, unfortunately, people want to complain about problems that literally mean life and death for people without offering any actual solution. Needs to be more shelters built across our region and rehabilitation and work programs to help people get clean and back on their feet and ready to be introduced back into society. And I agree 100% with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a one-time investment. I mean, if you really think about it, a one-time investment that can not only help others, but also, make our community better in general as well.
Well, it's easy to say people should do this, people should do that, but people oftentimes need help. They need help to get back on their feet. And I think that's one of the things that we sometimes society fail with, right? We want to complain. I agree with Jimmy Johnson there. And so this is a time to actually help people. So work on solutions instead of just getting the problem out of sight for right now.
Guys, people in Texas upset. Texas State Fair is banning firearms. That's what Texas is built on, the Fifth Amendment. Ain't that the Fifth Amendment?
Second
Amendment.
Second.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to my amendments, but this is Big Tex. He's the big guy at the Texas State Fair. It burnt down a couple of years ago, but they built him back, the largest statue in America, other than the Statue of Liberty, and that's called Big Tex at the State Fair in Dallas. The AG, the Attorney General in Texas, is saying that they got 15 days to overturn this ruling of no firearms, or he's going to see them in court. Said that it's a breach of their rights. And what do you think? Should firearms be banned? Now, remember, 2 years ago, we had that shooting where two people got into it, two guys, and there was two bystanders that ended up getting killed. That wasn't one of the two guys. So that's where this is coming from. So where do you stand on this issue?
I would say good luck trying to ban guns in Texas. I mean, I don't I don't see it. If there's one place in the United States that I honestly can't see that happening, it's got to be Texas. I mean, that's when I think of Texas, I automatically think of, a gigantic state, the Cowboys, and guns. I mean,
well, Justin, that's coming from a man like JJ that's got a 84 Dodge Ram with a gun rack in the window.
Wait, I have a Nissan Versa. Come on now.
JJ's still old school.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm a gun owner, but I don't see the need to take my gun everywhere. But I'm like JJ. Good luck with Texas, man. Texas.
You know, in today's world, when I was a kid, I used to get scared when my mom would leave me. I remember it vividly. My mom would leave me in Super America, you know, out at the gas pump while she'd walk in and pay for it. And I'd see a guy get out and he'd have a gun in his holster, just a regular guy. And I would get scared to death. I'd be like, you know, but in today's world, you got to be thankful for people like that now.
Absolutely,
because
now,
you know,
the world's so much different now.
Yeah, if something breaks out, you want somebody like that that's got a firearm near you. And you know, so definitely times have changed with that. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, I understand why they done it, but I'm with the Attorney General. I think it's a breach of human rights, you know, with the Second Amendment.
Absolutely. I mean, good luck.
Guys, did you know if you subscribe to Disney Plus that there's a chance? There was a guy that died at Disney World in Florida at an Irish pub, one of the restaurants in Disney World.
Yeah.
And they're going back and they're saying that the guy can't sue them because there's fine print if you subscribe to Disney Plus that basically there's some clause in there that says you can't sue if something happens on Disney property or something like that. Now, is this fair, guys?
Oh, wow.
And it gets even worse, Darryl. I actually read about this yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Is the guy's wife is a food allergy, and he didn't even actually he just signed up for the free trial when they were offering a free trial in 2019. In 2019, so he did a free trial of Disney Plus, and then didn't even stay on to it. And that free trial, they're saying, I say good luck with that holding up in court. But
that's a bunch of BS.
That's crazy.
Go ahead, Bradley.
No, I mean that's what Disney's lawyers are arguing. I'd say good luck with that holding up anywhere. I mean, Disney Plus has nothing to do with his wife dying at the park.
I mean, and it says on this article that more than 150 million subscribers to Disney Plus have waived all rights to sue the company. 150 million people.
Yeah. And listen, I'm one of them people. You know, unfortunately, my wife puts Disney Plus on all of her TVs for my daughter, and so it makes me think twice when I go to Disney World. My head's on a swivel. You know, I make sure I'm not dying at Disney World.
No, not riding any roller coasters or anything.
No,
I'll
be going.
That's one of the craziest stories I ever heard. I mean, how they tie something that can happen at one of their places to an app. You know, that tells you that is a fine example of why you read fine print.
And if that's able to hold up, then they are geniuses, honestly.
You know what? Evil geniuses, maybe, but
yeah.
But I still say good luck with that holding up. Any reasonable human being would not think that would apply to riding the roller coasters or eating at the restaurants or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's made me think twice about it, and as we're sitting here, I stuff like that. Do you got Disney Plus?
Yes.
Do you ever read the fine print?
Never.
What about you guys? JJ's the only person on this show I could see reading the fine print.
No, I didn't read it either. So I'm right there with you guys.
Well, the reason I say that is, Justin, if you hang around JJ enough, one thing you learn is, whenever you go to restaurants, he'll pull his wallet out and he'll have coupons in it. And, he looks at the fine print to make sure it's not out of date or something like that. And, we went the other day to Wendy's, and I was like, where you want to eat at? He said, it don't matter. He said, I got this one. He said, let's go to Wendy's. We got to Wendy's, and when JJ opened his wallet, he's like $2 off on a number 7. And, and I was like,
hey, I gotta be ready. I mean, the inflation prices. I mean, they're doubling, tripling in the cost of a double cheeseburger. I mean, they gotta quit that.
Or something like that, and they're like, it's expired 6 months ago.
Yeah. No, you gotta honor this coupon.
That's what he does on his downtime. He's one of them coupon clippers, where he's got his
Well, people, you go to
notebook.
Dollar General and you got to sit in line forever. They're sitting there going through everything. I'm like, Lord.
That's JJ.
Hey.
He knows. Yeah.
Hey, I got the 3 for $12 on the Pepsi products yesterday, so
See, and I tell you, he's helped. He introduced me to this app. What's that app called?
It's called It's Upside.
Upside.
I need to know about that.
It really is neat. It's for you guys at home that don't know this app. It's called Upside. Download it when you go and get gas or eats, or like it'll give you, if you bring it up, it'll give you restaurants and gas stations and stuff like that in your area. Well, okay, when you go get gas, you fill up, you get like $3 sometimes back off that fill up, and it keeps adding up. And you just cash it in whenever it gets to wherever you want to cash it in at.
Heck yeah. I'm glad y'all
You can either get
about that.
Yeah,
it really
you can get gift
neat.
cards. I mean,
Yeah, it's neat. I mean, you'd be surprised with how much money you can get back on that app. Yeah, I've used it, I think, 4 times, and I'm already up to like $16.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So but guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the long-awaited return of Weston Harris to the Startup Morning Show. We'll have Weston on in just a minute. Be right back here on the Startup Morning Show.
In America, what does that mean? It means jobs. It means craftsmanship. And when it comes to Vaughan Bassett furniture, it means value. And Kemper recognizes that. That's why they've dedicated an entire gallery to Vaughan Bassett. Made in America. See the quality. And now, see the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London.
Central America, head to Sal's Steakhouse. Sizzle your senses with mouthwatering steaks, juicy burgers, savory chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Sal's Steakhouse, where your taste buds will thank you. Unleash the flavor at Sal's. Taste tradition, taste the difference.
We're back here on the Startup Morning Show. Justin McCoy, special guest host with JJ Pruitt and Bradley Dameron. Guys, we have none other than Betsy Lane, stud lineman, Weston Harris. Good morning, Weston.
Morning.
How you doing this morning?
Pretty good.
We've had some trouble getting up with you, but we finally got up with you, man. We're getting you out of class for a minute. You're probably excited about that, ain't you?
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know, guys, Weston recently transferred from Prestonsburg over to Betsy Lane. Yeah, I guess that's what we want to start with. How you liking it on the hill?
A lot better than Prestonsburg. Classes are a lot better. People are a lot better over here.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're coming over. You're playing for a Prestonsburg guy in Darryl. I don't know whether you know or not, but he was a star at Prestonsburg. How's it been like playing for Coach Darryl?
Awesome. He's a great play caller and everything like that.
Yeah. So for the people that don't know you, Weston, tell them a little bit about what you play and what your specialties are.
Well, I'm playing fullback. I played fullback for a decent minute, and I also play middle linebacker.
Okay.
I'm a pretty good run stopper. I'm decent in pass protection, all that.
So right now, I guess, you guys are kind of the talk of the town. Everybody knows how good Pikeville is. They know how good Belfry, Johnson Central, the big schools are. But when you talk about the rest of the schools in the area, Betsy Lane right now has as much fanfare and as much publicity behind them as anybody. You guys seem like you got it going on there. It looks like y'all was gearing up for a special season. How excited are you, and how good can y'all be this year?
Pretty excited. I think that we can make a deep playoff run. We got a pretty good chance to have a pretty good game with Beechwood and all that. I know that's strong talk, but I think we got a pretty good chance.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got the skilled players. I mean, you got Carter Parsons, Isaiah Allen. Who's your halfback?
Andrew McCutcheon.
Okay. Oh, Andrew's back. So you're going to be blocking for him, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be picking up some yards and blocking for him.
There you go. So in Betsy Lane's offense, how much does Coach Darryl use the fullback as far as running compared to, where normally in most systems, fullback's more of a blocker. In some systems, they get to run the ball a lot. How is it at Betsy Lane?
So far, it's pretty much been a 50-50 between me and Andrew.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
What kind of offense are you guys running right now? Are you running wishbone? You running the gun a lot, or?
We're doing a pretty decent amount of spread. Then we'll go into pistol and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, JJ. We don't want to take your questions. We'll let you have him first.
Weston, man, it's really nice to meet you. So you play offense and defense as well?
Yep.
So which one do you like playing more?
Defense.
Defense. You like to hit them. So talk to me a little bit about the rivalries that you're going to be facing this year. I know that Darryl mentioned that you recently transferred to a different school. So do you know some of the rivalries that you're going to be facing and some of the teams?
Our main rival will be Prestonsburg. Prestonsburg, Floyd Central. That's pretty much our rivals.
So do you get to see them at home or do you get to see them on the road this year?
On the road.
On the road. And what do you like more, winning at home or winning on the road?
Winning on the road.
I would imagine it's much more sweeter. So what about your roster this year? Do you have a lot of younger talent this year? Do you have, a lot of veterans, or is your roster pretty deep from top to bottom?
It's pretty deep from top to bottom. We have about like 3 kids each position that could come up and play whenever we need them to. And they're pretty good. But we got a lot of veterans, a lot of seniors and juniors.
And who are some of the players that you modeled your game after on the offensive and defensive side?
That's a hard one.
It could be somebody you grew up watching, like on the professional level, collegiate level. It could be, maybe somebody you watched, a high school player that you might have grew up watching from your local area.
Linebacker Ray Lewis.
Oh wow. Yeah, Ray Lewis, the
best to ever do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, one of our co-owners here at D&D used to play with Ray Lewis, David Jones. So yeah, a little 6 degrees of separation there.
I love David. David's like one of my brothers.
That's what you and David have a really special relationship. It's been like that for years. David's always talk good about you, and he every time I see him, he asks me how you're doing. So
we got to call the game over there. Remember last year at Prestonsburg, me, you and David.
Yeah.
He talked highly of you.
Yeah. I did forget that was last year.
Yeah.
Now, as we look at this schedule here, I see a couple, and I'll let Bradley get you here in just a second. I see a couple games that definitely piqued my interest here. You get to face in week 1 your former coach, or week 2, Brandon Brewer. How excited are you to go to Bath County?
Really excited. Really excited.
That should be a good one. Fairview. Y'all should take care of business there. Not Central, y'all take care of business. Floyd Central, Prestonsburg, them 2 weeks will be very important. Y'all win them 2 weeks, then you go into Shelby Valley with an opportunity, to have another undefeated regular season. I think you win them 2 games, you could throw records out the window when it comes to them rivalry games in Floyd County, and then, you close out with Shelby Valley and Pike Central. It looks like things set up where if y'all take care of business in them 3 games, that y'all have a chance to have another undefeated regular season, Weston.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Bradley. I know you had a couple questions you wanted to get to.
Yeah. First of all, Weston, just wanted to talk to you. What's been that? I know you said it's been a good transition. Tell me some things that you've had to pick up on, coming over from Prestonsburg to Betsy Lane, and how's that gone for you?
A little bit more route running on my end during football. I was never really a route runner, but so far I've picked it up pretty well. Just a change in offense, a little bit of a change in defense. But school, there wasn't really much a change over there. It's pretty much the same thing over here.
And what makes Coach Darryl such a good coach to play for? I know you seem very excited about playing for him this season.
He has the mind of a quarterback where plays work. He knows what plays work, all that, and also where he was a quarterback through high school and college. It just makes him a different type of play caller, more precise, more of a tactician, if you would say.
You saying like you think he kind of sees like the field. Well, I mean, from the sideline, he still sees the field maybe a little bit better than a lot of coaches would.
Yep.
He cut out on us. I know. Hopefully, he comes back here. He's at school, so
sorry, I got a spam call.
Oh, okay. Definitely understand that. As we sit here, Weston, one thing that I wanted to ask is when you transferred over, did you transfer before they hired the new coach at Prestonsburg? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Go off and come back on, Weston.
I think he said something like froze. He may have frozen up, Darryl.
Yeah, can you hear us now? Here, let me message here and let them know. But
he's back now.
There you are. You back now, Weston? We'll have Weston.
He may have it muted.
Yeah, we'll have Weston go out and come back in. That you got to go out and come back in, and you should be good, Weston. But as you're sitting there, we'll have Weston come back here in just a second. But you could just tell, speaking of that young man, fine young man.
Absolutely, very well spoken.
Is he back?
Yeah, I don't think he can hear us. Is the issue.
He read the message, Joe, so hopefully we'll get him back here in a second.
Yeah. So they'll Miss Darryl will get the message to him. So there he goes. So we'll have Weston here in a second, but just a fine young man, and this was one of the biggest offseason pickups of any team this offseason. This kid's a big deal.
Oh, he's a huge deal. Like I said, I got to watch him last year, and he's going to really help Betsy Lane.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we'll have him join us here again in just a second. But when you talk, what Coach Darryl's doing, I mean, well, here he is.
I got a spam call on the phone, and it froze everything, so I switched over here to this computer.
Yeah, when that happens, you just have to log out, log back in. We could hear you, but you couldn't hear us. Yeah, but was you talk when you question I was asking you is when you transferred, was that before Prestonsburg hired the new hire?
No, it was during. I got to experience what he was doing some, but it wasn't really much. I got to experience him a little bit.
Okay. So, and I could see as a senior, like my son, I was in the same situation with him. You went to school with him last year at Prestonsburg. And, it was a situation where a new coaching hire coming in, you only got 1 year left. So you want to make sure that you go to a program that's stable where you can show out your senior year instead of going through a rebuilding year. Right, Weston?
Kind of. That's also a big part of it.
Yeah. Coach McCoy, I know you had a couple of questions for him.
Yeah, Weston. I got two questions for you. Like, who was your role model growing up that really, taught you what you know and always supported you, and was that person that you could always lean on? Talk about that person.
David was a real big supporter of me. Talked to him a lot. He's sent me videos on different things to do. Bear May was a really good coach. He's also showed me a lot of things I should do. And my aunt, which has always drove me to be real competitive, all that.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Now, the last question I got, everybody's got that game circled on the schedule, that, you coach always, this is the game we want to get. This is the game we want to win, and we want to show out. Who's that one game on the list on your schedule this year that you all are really excited about playing?
Shelby Valley.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're the big dogs, that right now. That's the program. If Betsy Lane, if you guys want to be the program that you think you can be, you've got to take Shelby Valley out, because right now, when you talk about the big three, Pike, Belfry, Johnson Central, the next biggest program is probably Shelby Valley.
And didn't Shelby Valley's coach step down last year?
Yeah, Anthony Hampton stepped down, so they got Tyler Johnson there now, who's doing a fabulous job. I got a chance to watch them in preseason. Tell you what, they're going to be tough, man. I mean, a lot of people think because they lost Russ Osborne, it's going to be a rebuilding. Nah, listen, Brady Johnson's a stud.
Yeah, and they still got a lot of speed.
Yeah, so well, let me ask you this: what game are you more excited about, Prestonsburg or Bath County?
Bath County.
And you want to stick it to Brew?
Yeah.
Definitely can't wait to see that. Guys, y'all got any more questions before I get to the fan questions?
Yeah. I have one for you. Weston, you were talking a little bit earlier. You're going to be running routes pretty much for the first time this year. Are you excited about the possibility of maybe getting the ball in the open space a bit?
Yeah.
What are you going to be running like a lot of maybe routes out in the flats, or like what kind of routes have you been running for?
Some flat routes, pretty much.
Yeah, I could see fullback. They're going to try to get you out in the open, out in the flats. Yeah.
Use that power to go over some of the smaller people on the outside.
How is your QB, Carter Parsons?
Really good, honestly. He can put the ball pretty much where he wants to. He's got a pretty good arm.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to ask you, has it helped you with the transfer, getting acclimated with the new system, knowing that you got former teammates that, like big Coltrane Lafferty and Josh Allen, and how many was they? 3 of y'all that come over?
4.
Who was the fourth?
Logan Hall.
Okay. Does it make you feel more at home knowing you got a couple of your old teammates with you?
Yes.
Yeah, and another question, we know you like to hit the weight room a lot. Let me ask you this: in an arm wrestling contest, you or Harley Quillen?
Obviously, me. Long shot.
Well, Weston, we got some fan questions. People want to get to know you. What's your favorite cereal?
Favorite cereal? Probably the new Ghost protein cereal that's came out.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I ain't never heard that one yet.
Yeah, not tried it.
Now, favorite shoe?
Favorite shoe? I have to go with a good pair of boots.
Okay. Yeah. You look like a boot guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Carhartt, right?
Luke Casey.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, you got some style. That Coach McCoy, he knows all about that over there on Phelps.
Oh, absolutely. You go through the halls of Phelps, it's boots. About 90% of them's got the boots on.
Yeah, but as we're sitting here, when you grew up, what in each one of these, tell us who you grew up cheering for in the NFL. Favorite team?
Panthers.
College football.
Tennessee.
Oh,
Volunteers.
God.
Oh, no, come on, man.
Yeah. All right. Nice having you, Weston. See you later. Did you grow up playing any other sports?
Little bit of basketball, baseball, and wrestling.
Okay.
Football and wrestling are my two big ones.
Does Betsy Lane have a wrestling program?
They did last year, but nobody really came out for it. I hope they bring it back because I'll probably be the only wrestler to come out.
Okay, well, I hope it happens for you and you're able to do that there. That would be huge. And listen, I'm sure you could gather a good wrestling team up with you, Co-Train, and a couple more there.
Yep.
Now, if we was to go through Weston's playlist, who are the top 3 artists on your playlist?
Hardy, P.D. Pablo, and Tyler Childers.
Okay. Now P.D. Pablo, is that the guy at North Carolina? Is that who?
Yeah, that's from the 2000s.
There you go. What's your dream car or truck, Weston?
Dream truck, square body, C10, lifted, like the old style, chrome headache rack, big tires, small wheels.
That's exactly what JJ cruises around in on a daily. Weston, let me ask you this: if you could meet any NFL pro football player from the present or past, who would it be?
Ray Lewis.
Okay. Now, who's your celebrity crush?
I ain't really got one.
You ain't got one? Uh-oh. That tells me you probably got a girlfriend, right?
No.
Oh, well. Now, JJ's always got a fan question, so I'm gonna let JJ ask you one before we let you go here.
I got a good one. If you could attend any sporting event throughout history, which one would it have been? It could have been a past Super Bowl. It could have been a past NBA championship game. If you could have had the chance to see it live, which event would it have been?
Well, I don't really keep up with sports like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. I'm more into like racing and stuff like that.
Hey, it could be a race.
The Isle of Man PT race. It's a race around an island. People are going like almost 200 miles an hour on like small back country streets.
Oh yeah. So you like kind of like the Pikes Peak stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a lot of comments coming in here. As we see, Logan Hall says favorite O-line. Who's your favorite O-line?
Logan.
Let's see. Jimmy Johnson says the Bobcats are going to have another special season and take it to another level, in his opinion. And Ethan Lance says, what about your wide receiver, Isaiah Allen? What's your thoughts on him?
He's really good. Really good.
Yeah. Now, if you have problems, or if you're having a down day, or if coach gets on you too hard, what assistant coach do you go to kind of get you out of the dumps?
Harley.
Okay, the Harley Quillen. He's done it on every level. He's had a great career at UPike. He obviously, you could probably relate that coaching staff. You probably relate well, as you got not only do you got Harley there, but you got Coach Darryl there. So a lot of Prestonsburg ties too, Betsy Lane, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Weston, we're going to look forward. I definitely can't wait to see what you do against Coach Brew and the Brew crew up there in Bath County. And if anybody knows him, and that's one thing. Is Coach Darryl trying to pick your brain a little bit, trying to say, okay, let's see, against Bath County, what kind of tips can you give me?
No, not really. I don't know if Burr's changed any of his coaching or not for Bath County.
Well, I'm very excited to see how you do, and I wish you the best of luck, man. You put in the work. You're one kid that I have no doubt is going to do big things this season. I think you're a name that, give it 2 weeks, you're going to be a household name here in the mountains. I think Coach Darryl and them are going to put you in great spots to succeed. And Weston, again, I want to thank you for joining us. And hopefully, once we get in the middle of football season, you can come back on and join us. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Weston Harris, Betsy Lane Bobcat, fullback, and D lineman. We'll be right back here on the Startup Morning Show.
Agents wear a lot of hats. There are coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Central America, head to Sal's Steakhouse. Sizzle your senses with mouthwatering steaks, juicy burgers, savory chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Sal's Steakhouse, where your taste buds will thank you. Unleash the flavor at Sal's. Taste tradition, taste the difference.
Back here on the Startup Morning Show, Bradley Dameron, J.J. Pruitt, and Justin McCoy in the house. Guys, Weston is gearing up for a big year. That kid has a load of motivation.
He's well-spoken, too. I mean, he seems like a really good kid, and he seems highly motivated as well.
Yeah, he is. You can guarantee that kid's about ready to he's the one kid that you want to buy stock in because, he's getting ready to have a season that nobody's seeing coming. Like he's that good. He's going to be put in a position where he can actually show his talent.
Yeah.
So as we're sitting here, guys, let's move on. Don't know if you guys had seen, but a story come through yesterday that we didn't get to. But Derica Hambly, does any of y'all know that name?
Not off the top of my head.
Hey, she plays for the Las Vegas Aces, and she is suing the Las Vegas Aces because they traded her, and they're not wanting to give her the money that's paid. Said that the coach, Don Staley, is that who coaches them?
Yeah.
Or no?
No, she coaches.
They got a famous coach.
She coaches Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah, Don Staley.
Wasn't she the one that coached the Spurs with the Spurs?
I can't remember. But she's the one that the coach, when Hambly told the coach she was pregnant, they trained her. They treated her like an outcast, and they traded her to Los Angeles. She plays for the Sparks now. But they're saying that she lost out on millions of dollars because of the way that she got treated when she got pregnant.
Becky Hammond.
Becky Hammond. So it was. Yeah.
Becky Hammond.
Yeah. So guys, who's in the right and who's in the wrong here? Is Becky Hammond? Is she wrong for saying, "Well, listen, you got pregnant, you can't help my team. I'm gonna trade you," or is Derica? Does Derica got a case?
Don't they have like certain things? Like I can't remember the term, but whenever like a girl in the WNBA gets pregnant, like don't they have like something something like that?
You would think they would in their contract, but I don't know.
if they don't, it seems like there should be some protection.
Yeah,
for
there
that,
should
right?
be something protected for them. Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, to be devil's advocate here, what if what if a girl gets to the NBA and realizes, like, okay, I can't cut it, and she's going to try to hide herself by keep getting pregnant. We've seen cases where a girl will have 5-6 kids in a row, and all of a sudden you're paying her millions of dollars to sit there and babies, to get pregnant and take care of her family. I mean, I see the case for the team too. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, do you want to throw away money?
No. No. I mean, when you put it that way, I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
But at
When
the
you put
same
it that
time,
way,
like,
it makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. But I'm just, I don't think that she's one of.
Example though, man. I mean, like, I do think at some point you do have to look at and evaluate what's best for your team, but surely they could mitigate that out a bit. Like, if someone wants to
that's
have
a
a
mean
bunch of
move.
kids, that's fine, but maybe not have like all of
I
them on
say
the
give
team
you
sign
2 kids throughout your career. If you have more than 2, then we're not paying you for the time that you're off and, all that stuff. That would be what I'd do. I mean, at the end of the day, I know it would be hard to actually, I don't know how the union would go about that, but at the end of the day, I do understand, there's a lot of, I've seen women do it, and at the end of the day, if they're going to take and do that, then it becomes a thing like where they got to be responsible too, and they got to realize, like, okay, this is hurting my way of living or my career, so they chose this life. I mean, so what do you do? I mean, I don't think you should have treated her like an outcast, and you should have intentionally costed her money. But if you wanted to trade her because she's pregnant and she can't help the team, then I think that's up to the franchise, and I don't think that they should be criticized for it, because at the end of the day, they got a business to run too, and they're wanting to run that business to its best ability.
I would like to see what kind of proof that they have, or that she has.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's everything too. I mean, the thing is, it's not like she got fired and cut off. She was traded. Like, her contract basically went somewhere else. I mean, so as a pro athlete, any pro athlete that's playing like a team sport like that, that's a possibility. I mean, like, you can get traded. People get traded in the NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL all the time. So
listen, I'm with the Aces on this, and I know a lot of people are going to call me a bad guy, but at the end of the day, I think you got a business to run, and I mean, I'm not in the business of throwing money away if I'm a business owner, and they've won back-to-back titles for a reason, and that's because they're making good decisions. And I hate it for Derica Hambley, but at the end of the day, you see she has 2 kids there, so I would take it this is at least her third. How many of them come under her contract? I would say it comes to a point where the Aces may just be tired of it.
Yeah.
I mean, also, and it's not like she's blackballed from the league or anything like that. So she just went to a different team. So, I mean, she still has the opportunity to continue her career.
Yeah, and Ty Isom, Ty Isom is a kid. He has a comment coming in, said, how does Weston feel about the Betsy Lane defense, especially the linebacker core? Ty Isom is a kid that I come into this offseason, had no clue who this young man was. And then all of a sudden, I just started seeing, like, we was getting bombarded every single day. This kid was getting offers every single day. And I'm like, is this kid a transfer or what? Right. But undoubtedly, he's been there the whole time. But this kid, he's had a monster off season. I can't wait to see what that kid brings to the table.
And he's playing in that all-star game. The name of it escapes me off the top of my head.
Army-Navy game, the military bow or whatever.
It's like the blue-gray or something. I think it's like
the blue-gray game.
Yeah, and but it's playing that down in Jerry World down there in Dallas. So, I mean, like, he's kind of blown up this summer. And, I mean, obviously we're expecting a big year from Ty.
We've had a couple kids go play in that game throughout our time, here in the mountains. I know Austin Hall got invited to it. I think Cole Bentley went and played in it. Speaking of former great players, I ran into Austin Dotson, and he said he's going to come on the show next week to talk a little Kentucky football and preview the Wildcats before the season starts. So you guys can look forward to that.
Absolutely.
That'll be exciting.
Yep. And Austin was doing exactly what I thought Austin would be doing. He's working in the coal mines in Alabama right now. And he told me, he said, I'm getting ready to go back. He said, I got another day here. He said, so I'm going to try to enjoy it. So, he was doing his best impression of Stone Cold Steve Austin, throwing back a six-pack. So, if you guys haven't seen this dude, he is massive.
He's a monster.
Yes, he's you guys. Most people have seen him on D&D here quite a bit, but definitely can't wait to have him on to talk some football. And but guys, let me ask you this: Judge in Michigan, Judge Kenneth King. He arrested a 16-year-old girl for falling asleep in his courtroom. Now, this 16-year-old girl was in his courtroom on a field trip. Now, and he scolded her multiple times, and she kept falling asleep. So he put her in handcuffs and threatened to lock her up for contempt of court. And is this guy a bad guy or a good guy? Is he trying to teach a lesson, or is he a bad guy in y'all's guys' eyes?
I'll go first. I think, to me, me knowing, judges, a lot of judges and stuff, friends with some of them, I think he's scolding. I think he's trying to just send a message just to scare her up, let her, just to teach her a lesson. I don't think he's doing it like being a bad guy. I think he's just
maliciously.
He's not maliciously. He's just trying to wake her up, show her, what can happen when you come to court. You need to be alert. And
this was, don't forget, guys, this is very important. This was an outreach program that was on the field trip, so it wasn't a normal school field trip. It was, kind of like troubled kids or kids that needed a second chance.
So he's letting her know this is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's just more scolding her, trying to teach her a lesson.
But social media is not on his side. They are scolding the judge, saying that his job needs to be took, that, he shouldn't, he's a bully. He shouldn't have scared this kid. I don't, I understand where the guy's coming from, and he did reach out, apologize to the family, and told them, listen, I just want the kid to, go down the right road.
Yes, and people don't realize they see this every day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, look around. We got people going down this bad road everywhere you look. And I feel like he's just trying to. To me, I'm on his side on this one. I may, get backlash, but I see his point. And I think he was just trying to teach her a lesson. What do you think, JJ?
In that situation, it's a little contempt charge is much better than a bigger charge in the future. So he may have just been trying to, like you said, just send a message, be like, look, these are things that can happen to you if you're in the wrong or you do something wrong. And like you said, it wasn't an ordinary field trip. It was for kids that were already troubled. So maybe this individual, not sure, may or may not have already had some trouble in the past, and he was just trying to push her into a positive direction, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's what I see. That's how I feel.
I kind of feel like he may have overstepped a bit, but I also kind of feel like you guys that the intent was more to kind of like scare her going into the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Probably did overstep a little bit, but I don't think it's like I don't necessarily think it was like this egregious error. Maybe pull it back a bit the next time when he's with in a situation like that. But I do think the intent was to help the kid move forward.
I do too. And people out here saying take his job. To me, that's ridiculous.
Oh, well, they said that he was going to put the young lady in jail, but he asked her peers and her classmates that was there with her what he should do, and her classmates said let her free. So that's the reason she didn't go to jail. But I think in a situation like that, if you've told her multiple times, at the end of the day, I've been in court. I've been in court many times. I mean, if you know my history, I've been there many times. So, at the end of the day, I've heard them scold people that's in court, especially people with cell phones or people that I've seen them scold people falling asleep.
Yeah.
That is disrespect in a judge's courtroom, people with hats on, stuff like that. But I think what should have happened is she probably should have been removed from the courtroom and somebody should have gave her a talking to outside.
Well, he could have sent the bailiff. You know what I mean? His bailiff, everybody's got a bailiff. He could have said, hey, go get her, take her out to the room and just explain to her this is important. You know what I mean? I agree with that. He could have done that.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I guess
she learned her lesson. I guarantee you that.
And that's at the end of the day. I guarantee you, this judge is sleeping good at night because he realizes I changed a life.
Yes.
This girl, from now on, I guarantee at 11 o'clock, she's not going to be on her cell phone until 3 a.m. She's going to be in bed.
Yes, she's in a courtroom. She's going to be alert.
Yeah. So, guys, as we move on here, sticking in Michigan, Chris Johnson. He is a 47-year-old Chris Johnson of Canton, Michigan, shoots 35-year-old Nathan Morris after daughter touches mulch. This is a terrible story here, guys. And just a little situation. They're neighbors in the same neighborhood.
Right.
And the family, a little context of the story, the guy, family, Nathan Morris, the guy that got shot, his family was walking up and down streets selling for a school charity, like for a local basketball team. I think it's softball team. And they went up to this guy's door and knocked on his door. And the guy, I guess, started telling them, like, you're just doing this for your family. You're trying to get money. It's wrong what you're doing. And they was like, no, we're trying to raise money for our kid. Well, his daughter reached down and touched his mulch. Well, he come out with a gun. The guy started pleading, for him not to shoot him because his whole family was standing there. And, he's like, it really is for my kids. And he's like, no, basically telling him that's what's wrong with America is people freeloading off people, going out begging for money. Well, he ended up shooting the guy and left him. He died and right in front of his kids. So his kid have to remember, my dad died because I reached down and touched the guy's mulch.
That's ridiculous.
And, I've seen a lot of heated neighbor rivalries.
Yeah.
I grew up, my uncle and my neighbor was in a huge heated rivalry over a property line dispute.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah. And, it was over a ditch, digging a ditch so water could drain off my uncle's property. Well, the neighbor was saying it was on their property line. And I tell you, it got scary at times. I mean, there was guns pulled and everything. Has anything ever made you mad enough to where you would want to shoot one of your neighbors? JJ seems like he might say yeah.
Anything that's made me so mad that I wanted to shoot a neighbor. I don't know if I would say I wanted to go that far, but there may have been some instances where I wanted to have a conversation with him. What about you, Bradley?
I mean, most of my neighbors have been at least okay with a few exceptions, but listen, someone coming to your house, even if you think they're trying to be a freeloader in that situation, just say no, shut the door. You don't need to go shoot someone just because they're knocking on your door if they're not messing with you. And heaven forbid someone reach down and touch your mulch. I mean, that's the type of guy who deserves to be in jail, right? He doesn't deserve to be in society if he's going to pull out a gun and shoot someone just for trying to sell candy and a dollar touching his mulch.
I'll tell you who I feel sorry for in this is the next Jehovah's Witness goes to his door.
Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling that guy won't be around for that.
I agree. That guy needs to be put away for a long time. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's a tough situation there. The JJ, Justin, I don't know about y'all, but I want to know a little more context. It's what got JJ so mad over there at his neighbor.
Yeah.
No.
JJ, explain a little bit. What's going on?
I mean, most
fill
of
us in,
I hope
JJ.
that neighbor ain't watching right now.
no,
You might
no,
get a knock on your door.
no, I'm not gonna. I mean, over the last 20 some years, I mean, all the places I've lived in, I may have had one or two instances with a neighbor that I've had some issues with, but nothing ever that bad. No, I wouldn't. I would never go that far,
I mean,
or admit to wanting to go that far.
the worst I ever had was there. I had a former neighbor who I had to basically leave the house in the middle of the night because he went crazy and was like shooting at the place, basically destroyed his trailer. That
Oh wow.
he basically, I mean, it was on the local news there for a bit, and he just went crazy. I mean, his excuse that he gave, and that man truly believed it, was he said President Bush called him and told him that he killed JFK and that my neighbor was going to have to pay for it.
Oh wow, he's on some hard stuff.
And I mean, when the police called us to come back, I remember we pulled back into the driveway. We had our dog with us at the time. We pulled back in, and here's my neighbor in handcuffs and his underwear just outside. They're shoving him in the cop car, and but yeah, he was he was on some medication, and
well, I had
think,
to say, yeah,
I
I had
think
to say I had a neighbor, Bradley, something like that one time, moved in next to me, and this ain't no lie. This one meth, she was on meth. I mean, and it's what it does to you. I mean, she came over to my door and was beating on my porch. I opened the door and I'm like, "What's up?" She's like, "Hey, her boyfriend's name was David."
Yeah.
And she said, "David's truck's under your porch. I need his truck." And my porch, let's tell you, it's not 4 foot high. You know what I mean? And I had like a couple bicycles under there. And I said, "Ma'am," I said, "listen, David's truck ain't under here, but if you need a bicycle, you're welcome to take a bike." And she's like, "No, his truck's under there, and I need to get his truck." I said, "There's no truck under here."
I think I'll get it, honey.
Yeah. And then she starts looking under her house, the side, and hollering for him. "I know you're under there. You need to come out." And I mean, it just went on forever, and we ended up having to call the law. And funny story, the trooper came was our good friend Corey Charles from Belfry. He could tell you this story. Yeah. It was funny. I mean, he had a time getting her, in. I mean, they're super strong when they're on that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't her fault. I mean, she was on some medication, man. And it was just, and she just kept, wanting that truck, and wanting David. And Corey said she'd called him that day earlier and said there was people living under the floor. I mean, that's what that does to you now. And let's take this woman now has got off of that. She's got better.
Okay.
Looks great. I mean, got help and super good now.
She probably appreciates you telling us on national TV.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying it was just that I don't mention no names, but I mean, it was just funny in a way, but sad in a way.
Oh, you didn't, David?
No, I wasn't David.
But no.
He was hiding the bushes or something.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. I'd be hid too.
Yeah.
Poor David. As we move on, meth is a tough situation, man.
It's awful.
We talked about that before, and that's something we'll go into on another show here. But you seeing it tear up communities every day. And before we get off that, I do remember now my mother and my father, they had a tough rivalry with my neighbor when I was a kid. And, my neighbors, their kid was my friend, but our parents did not get along. And basically they hit our dog, which was like a $1,200 Pomeranian.
Oh, wow.
And they hit and killed our dog. And so it really heated up the rivalry then. And, things got really nasty there for a long time. And it's a tough situation as a kid going through that when you got a friend and you can't see or play with them. And whenever their mom sees, when they're walking in from school and, you say hi and then their mom jerks them in the house.
Right.
And,
yeah. That's,
it's tough on kids, man.
It's very tough on kids.
But when you sit here, talking about meth, Floyd County, Mitchell Williams, shout out to the Floyd County Police Department, Mitchell Williams, 40 of Martin, charged with burglary and endangering officers this happened to a Grethel couple, a couple in Grethel. It was they ended up taking the guy, tried breaking in these people's house. Police was called, and he had a knife. And when the police come, he come to attack the police with the knife. And hats off to the Floyd County Sheriff's Department how they handled this situation, because most of the time this would have been a loss of life. Yeah. But they held their composure, used bean bags and tasers, and ended up finally getting this guy subdued. But I don't know as a cop that I would have took that chance. That takes a lot of guts not to shoot a guy in that situation coming at you with a knife.
Yeah, it does.
So hats off to the Floyd County Sheriff's Department. Jimmy Johnson says the exact reason why we need gun reform to where people have to pass a psychological evaluation and take a safety training class to own a gun. I agree. I'm with that.
I agree.
I think we should have rights to our guns, but I also think that,
not everyone is capable of being able to handle that responsibly.
Right. And you got some people that's never touched a gun, don't know nothing about a gun, can't take it apart, put it back to those people need a training at least how to use a gun the proper way.
Well, let's go to a little lighter subject. Guys, I heard on our good friends at KSR, as you know, Matt Jones, he's one of my biggest mentors, but we don't agree a lot when it comes to stuff away from sports, and he had a topic the other day. Should coaches be referred to as coaches by other people that don't play for the coaches? And should people still call coaches if you see them when they're 80 years old? And Matt Jones basically said, in no other form of life do we call somebody by their profession. Said, why is coaches different? So should coaches earn the title of coach for the rest of their life?
What do you think, JJ? You go first.
I mean, for me, it's just a respect thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've always, even if I don't play for them, if I know that they're a well-known coach or they coach, my first instinct is just to say, hey, coach, like, how are you? That's just embedded in my brain to do that.
It's kind of similar to like a teacher sometimes, right? Like there are some teachers, like I'm a 46-year-old man now. And when if I see an old teacher of mine, I want to call him Mr. or Mrs. whatever, because that's how I grew up. That's how I got to know them.
Or like Dr. Fight or doctors.
Yeah, Dr. Johnson. I still call him little doc. You know?
And like right now, like there's a former teacher of mine who, when he wanted me to call him by his first name, as an adult, I tell you, that was an adjustment because you get used to that. And I think it's the same way a lot of times with coaches, and like even in context, like with me and stuff, where I've covered a lot of coaches over the years and stuff at different times. Like if I talk to one of them, like my buddy over from Birch basketball coach Mike Smith, I'll bounce back and forth between calling him Mike or calling him coach if I'm talking to them. It's just kind of one of those things because that's how I think of him as a coach.
Well, I myself, I think coaches put a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of community service in. Whether it's on the high school level, middle school, pro level, pee-wee. Listen, when I see my middle school coach, my pee-wee coach, they're always going to be coach. And I think if you don't, I think it's disrespectful to call them by their name. I see it more as a sign. I think you're more wrong for not calling them by coach than you are for referring to them as coach. And like Jimmy Johnson says, if a former president, they're always president. President Bush, President Trump, President Reagan, teachers, judges are always judges, and, myself, I think they put the work in, they earned that name. So listen, Coach Justice, Raymond Justice will always be Coach J to me. Randy Casey, Coach Casey, I would never, I feel like I'm disrespecting them and even though like Coach Casey, he's a close friend of mine now. Well, David Jones, like I still find myself, David, really close friend, Coach Casey. I still find myself calling David Coach Jones. Hey, Coach
I
Jones.
do sometimes too. Yeah,
and,
I mean, he's one of my brothers,
and you coached with him, so it's probably harder for you.
Him. Yeah,
I mean, but and Coach Casey, like I would never call him Randy, and dang sure wouldn't call Raymond Justice Raymond. I feel like that's a sign of disrespect, calling them by their name. Where you stand?
To me, I don't see. I mean, I've called Clay sometimes. Coach Campbell.
Yeah.
I still say Coach too, but then I'll say Clay. And some of my kids will say Coach. Some say my name or whatever. That's close with me. That's know me growing up. You know what I mean? I think it's just a little bit different, but yeah, I think it is. You should call him Coach, but to me,
I think it's disrespectful.
I think it does depend on the context, how you know them, and
how you know them. That's what I say. If you're close, you growed up, they've always known you as this, and I see that.
Like Randy Casey, I haven't spoken to Randy in a bit, but I've gone back and forth with him. Clay, you mentioned Clay there. I've called him Clay and I've called him Coach Campbell.
Me too. That's me. I've called them both. Yeah.
I mean, so
like Dave, Dave.
Now, I will tell you one coach that I find myself having trouble with in the region whenever I talk to him, and I hate it, but is Elijah. Because everybody knows him as Mr. Basketball, Elijah Justice. They know that first name.
Elijah. That's me. I say Elijah.
So when I go up to him, hey Elijah, come here.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not Coach Justice.
Well,
I don't think I've ever said that
it's
name.
a lot of times with me. You'll say Justin a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're close.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's how you know somebody. Kids that's growed up in the community may call you by your name more, but now if you got transfers coming and stuff,
I guess I'll say this. One thing I've learned in this conversation: if they're older than me, it's Coach.
Yeah.
If they're my age or younger, it's
their name.
Yeah, it's their name.
Yeah. Well, like I'll tell you one, like Seth Uten at Tug Valley. Seth's one of my cousin's best friends. And I mean, like I've known Seth since he was young, so calling him Coach is weird because I've always just called him Seth. And
exactly, I agree. Yes,
I guess that's true.
It makes sense when you sit and think about it.
Because there's a few basketball coaches like I guess Coach Napper. I call Brad. Todd Maynard. I don't know. I guess it's how well you know them. I guess.
Sometimes it's how they also introduce themselves to you, right? Some people walk like Todd Maynard, you mentioned, he was like, "Hey, I'm Todd," and shake your hand.
That's true. Yeah. And I have heard coaches like, if you talk to Al Sloyd's coach, John Mills, he'll always shake your hand and say Coach Mills.
Right.
So
I guess like me, true. I know like Ethan Cummins, Corey Tacker, we're all in that age level. We've come up together. I say Corey or hey Ethan, you know what I mean? I don't ever say Coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But, for instance, you guys know on the grind session, I don't think I've ever called Coach Keithley Kevin.
No, never. I don't never remember you calling him that. No. And honestly, I don't think I have ever called him that either. It's just because of y'all show and stuff. It's always, hey, Coach Keithley.
Yeah.
It's just what it's became. You know what I mean? It's what you get used to, I guess.
That is true. The Carl Whitey Little says Jamie Hager coached my grandson, and I call him Coach every time I see him. And I get that. Yeah,
I get that.
Well, that is true. Like Brent Perry coaches at Belfry. And I call him Coach Perry.
Right.
And now the one that I did, Chase, I guess at Prestonsburg, I called him Chase.
Chase, yeah.
And then JJ, I called JJ. I think JJ is the coach in the region that most people, him and Elijah, call by their first names.
Yeah.
And I don't know why JJ's that guy, but, a lot of people say it's JJ.
JJ's what I've always known him.
Yeah. But Carl Whitey Little says, another great show. Need to have Justin back on the show soon. We'll definitely do that. Jimmy Johnson says preachers are ones that you call preacher or pastor too.
Yeah.
So guys, another great show. Want to thank Weston Harris. Definitely give a round of applause to our guy Justin McCoy for coming over to the studio today. And guys, we will see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same channel tomorrow. We got 2 special guests on. We got Corey Hayes of Hayes Training System coming on.
Yes.
And then 9:15 or 8:31, Bradley has Coach Belcher supposedly coming on. So going to be an exciting show tomorrow. But until then, we hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you same time, same channel tomorrow. Thanks again.